Hey, 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 it's your girl, Bobby J. Hey, did you see that? We are talking about Sisters Season 2, Episode 9. Did you see that? Well, did you see it? I did. But first, I want to say Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope all of you had a wonderful holiday with family and friends, or did a Zoom Thanksgiving, which some people did. I got to see my grandchild. I'm so thrilled and happy to be here. I want to give my shout outs to the comment section. We got Bobby Ray, Shanice Says, Gail Elizabeth Phillips, and Isaiah Hill. Thank you guys for your comments. I enjoyed them all. So let's get on with this Season 2, Episode 9, When I Get Home. Now this episode, it was good, but that's about it. The most exciting part, I guess I would have to say, was the beginning part, when they're in the garage and Gary is like trying to manhandle Andy. And he's getting loud and he's yelling and stuff. And she's trying to stay calm and keep him calm. And he's not trying to hear it. And he's like, what, get in the car, get in the car. And she's like, Gary, please calm down. I'm not liking the way you're talking to me. Fear would have been all through my body because she was just warned upstairs by Hayden and she ignored it. I'm not sure what's going on with her, why she thinks it's not a serious thing, but that man is 2 inches off of being abusive. He already at the verbal abuse. It's abuse. That's all I got to say about that. And then he's yelling at her, going about, where's my kiss? And who was that guy you was with? And she's like, what guy? That guy you was with. Who was you with? And he was like, oh, my God. And he's yelling at her. She's like, do you want to go back to jail? And he's like, are you threatening me? Are you threatening me? And she's just like, no, I'm just asking you because I'm not liking the way you're talking. And I was like, is she your sister? Because she wasn't acting like one. I know she's, like I said, she's trying to be calm, but he was just going in and stuff. And she's busy trying to keep him calm, but he snatched the keys from her and tried to get her to come and said she's not going nowhere to get in the car. And thank God for Hayden. Hayden showed up and I knew he would. Hallelujah. Because I was like, please let Hayden come down in there. I think I said it last week in the comment section. And Hayden's like, is everything okay? She's like, everything's fine. Everything's fine. He's like, dude, everything's fine. And then he's like, you sure, Andy? He said, she said everything. He snapped like this. And Hayden already saw a taste of it. He saw a taste of it when he went to the prison to try to help him out. I tell you, I said, what is wrong with this guy? He's so jealous. Gary's so jealous. A jealous man is close to being abusive. And Andy better check that. I don't know what she's thinking, but she better check that out because it's not looking real good, So anyway, so somehow she gets the keys back from him. When I guess he's distracted by Hayden, and she gets her car keys back from him, and she jumps in the car to drive. He told me, I'm gonna be following you. I'm gonna follow right behind you. She said, no, you're not. I am going home, and you're not gonna follow me. I'm like, honey, how you gonna just? No, you're not gonna follow me. He would have been right on her tail if Hayden didn't back his car up and block him. And I was like, yay, Hayden, yes. I loved Hayden in that in that part right there. I liked the way they had him just step in, So then she's calling, and Andy's in her car calling Karen, and she's telling her what's up. And Karen's like at the shop telling her, I'm leaving. I'll be there in a minute. I'll meet you at your house, okay? And then they got Sabrina and Danny on the phone. They're talking about their issues and stuff. Danny's talking about Preston. What was going on with Preston and the stripper and the landlord, and how Preston walked in while she was with the stripper. And how that damn landlord keeps opening the door. She's like, the landlord didn't think it was a problem. Oh, he's so nice. He's so country. He's so this. She's like, she said, that sounds like, and you know, Sabrina's like, that sounds like that's illegal. She's like, not according to my landlord. She doesn't think it is. But I guess she must have put her in a check because we all know Danny does not play when she's telling how she feels about stuff. So anyway, so they're talking. Sabrina's talking about Calvin wants to be committed and to her, and she don't know. And they're like, you just mad, and it's like, I don't know. I'm just with all these different episodes. It might be weeks to us, but it might be only a couple of days to them. So I'm getting confused as to how long they really know each other. So then Sabrina gets off the phone and she calls Maurice at the bank, and she's asking Maurice to call why he's still there at the bank, you know, and he's like, I want that bitch to get my job. Talk about that other guy. That other guy ain't thinking about his job. At least that's what I don't think. But you know, anyway, so Danny, Sabrina is talking to Maurice, and she's asking him to go in the drawer and get out that drug test and give it to Calvin. He's like, what? She said, well, you don't want a drug addict living with you. He was like, you's a shady little bitch. You know that? And I said, yes, she is. She's trying to get him to give a drug test. She's still at this, ain't going to end up having a man because she doing all this slickster stuff. She better check that. Then it goes to Fatima and Zach, and you know how they are. You know, she's calling him because she just left him there, and she was trying to be on the DL, but the guys figured out that he's talking to her, and she's letting him know that her door's going to be unlocked, and she want to see him tonight, and he could come by and everything. And he's like, and I'm like, what's up with him? What is up? And I knew something had to be up, but we didn't know what. I'm like, what is wrong with Zach? Because when he left that morning, he was like all cool. Not to mention he driving the car she gave him. He ain't got no problem with that. But now all of a sudden he's acting kind of funny and shady. And I don't get this whole thing, you know. So anyway, she realized he was saying something crazy, but she just brushed it off. So then Karen arrives at Andy's apartment, and they're talking and everything, and Andy's like, and it was acting like it was no big thing. What Gary was doing, I was like, what? And it seems like they said back in college that she was in some abusive relationship then too. And I don't know what's up with Andy, but you know, I had my pastor tell me one time, he know a lot of people who were they book smart, but they got one damn bit of common sense. And it seems like Andy really don't have no common sense. Married man, abusive relationship. She almost lost her job twice because of him. Almost went to jail. What the hell, Andy? Come on. I don't know. Anyway, so she's acting like it's no big deal. And she's like, what was it? Oh, she said he knows about Paris. He knows that I think he's having me followed. And that's when Karen's like, he's dangerous, girl. You know, trust me. And she's like, no, trust me. Everything is fine. You know, I owe him money. I'm going to give him his money and leave him alone. She said, no, you going to give me the money. He going to meet me at my shop. And that's what we going to do. And she's like, no, it's not that big a deal. It's not that big deep. I said, oh my God. Oh my God. You know, she's like, everything is fine. You know, she said, Karen's like, Andy, you could see with your own two eyes that something's wrong with him. She's like, his wife told you. She said, I ain't gonna listen to that bitch. What's she gonna mean? What's she gonna tell me? She's like, you can see. You can see. She said, but I still love him. I still love him. I was like, oh my Lord Jesus. She said, I still love Zach, too. Hello, I still love Zach. But you don't see me going back to him. You know, you got to let go. You got to. She said, at some point, you got to look out. We got to look out for ourselves. She said, but I'm not you, Karen. I'm not you. I can't just cut people off. You know how my heart is. You know, I can't do that, you know. She said, you're going to have to give me a minute. You know, you don't know. I was like, oh my God, I can't with her. I think she was so silly. She said, okay, I'm going to give you a minute. She said, but it was, she said something about, do you know the last 6 months? Something about the last 6 months. I couldn't hear what she was saying, what Karen was saying to Andy, but it was something of significance. And she's like, I know. But she told him, I'm going to give you a minute. I'm going to give you a minute. But I ain't going through this with you no more, she said. She said, if he comes at you, your minute is over. I said, oh, it's about to go down. We going to see how Karen rolls and stuff. I see Karen little hood anyway, so I like her. She don't take no mess, and so she kept beating it into Andy, and Andy didn't like it. Andy got a little defensive, and she said, I understand, but look, let's just go out tonight with my girls, and we're going to have a good time. That's all we're going to do. And I don't want to talk about men. I don't want to talk about this. So she said, okay, cool. Then they show Hayden showing up at Fatima's house. Fatima's like, what the hell? She's like, you didn't call. What you showing up at my house? What's going on? And he's like, I just want to talk to you. What? About Andy. He's like, you going to let me in? She's like, okay, what is it? What do you want? He's like, that guy showed up. Now, when he said that guy showed up, I'm like, how does she know what guy? Why didn't he say Gary showed up? Her boyfriend showed up or something. Fatima would at least known that. But he called him that guy. And I didn't get that. And he said he was angry and he was threatening. He was in the parking lot, yelling at Andy and getting disrespectful, threatening her. And I was like, and she's like, really? She said, I mean, how well do you know Andy? She's like, I don't know her like that. I'm just getting to know her. And she's like, well, I guess I could talk. He said, would you know if she's in trouble? She's like, I don't know. She's like, I could talk to her. And I forgot she going out to meet them. That's right, because she's going to hang with them because Andy was going to tell her good news to all her girls. And she had just told Fatima. Fatima's one of her girls now. She said, you've had my back through this whole thing. So this is cool. I'm thinking Fatima going out with a guy because of what Zach was saying. But anyway, so he started trying to hit on her and saying he likes her, how much he likes her. He feels she's the one. And she's like, She's like, good dude. We went out one time. We had sex one time. That was it. It didn't work out. I'm not interested. And he's like, women your age. He started talking about women your age that I know usually want a man or want somebody. And she was like, but that's not me. He said, they usually want to get married. She's like, but that's not me. Hayden was like, oh, man. He was like, you're going to look back on this one day and you see how you missed out, And I was like, damn. She said, let me tell you something, Hayden. I could do anything a man could do for me. She said, I got me. I got me. I could do for me. I can't do for my thing. No, she said there ain't nothing a man could do for me that I can't do for myself. And I know a lot of women like that. I feel that way sometimes. I felt that way a lot of times because it was true. But anyway, he wanted to marry her. She's not feeling that. Yada, yada. Hayden is, I don't get this. So, anyway. So, she told him to leave. Because he's like, you going out with a guy? Yeah, I got a guy coming. And he want to meet. She said, what, you want to meet him? And he's like, yeah, I'd like to meet him. She said, okay, cool. You can meet him on the other side of my door. Get out. Get on the other side of my door. Is it like that? And he's like, damn, this is men who don't understand no. The word is no. Anyway, so now we have Preston. And Preston's outside of Danny's apartment, sitting in the hall. I guess Danny laid into that landlord and checked her 2 times because that landlord ain't let him in this time. He's like, oh, the landlord didn't let me in. She's like, yeah, she learned a damn lesson. I said, that's right. he comes in and he want to sit down. She said, you ain't sitting down. And they talking, and he started apologizing, and how he spoke to his sister, and she told her how offensive him calling her gal was, but he said the thing is he'd never been in this situation before. He said, I've called women that weren't black gal, meaning he called white women and everybody gal, but he didn't realize it's offensive to a black woman. So, she understood, and then she apologized a little bit, not a lot, but then they started talking about the stripper and did she sleep with him? And, he wanted to know, is that something she does all the time? And she's like, what? No. And he's like, he couldn't understand why she was with him. She said, the thing is, we went out and I was the only one. I didn't have anybody, and I wanted somebody to hold me. I wanted somebody to hold me. I felt really like she was really being sincere and truthful, which is something it seems that she doesn't. She just says what she hides what she really want to say sometimes. But that's not how she is with her girls. But he told her, he wants her, Preston said, I want you to be truthful and honest. I could respect that. And he's told her, any man who dates a girl or woman, they usually want them to be the only one. And she said, but we're not dating, like, we're not exclusive, I guess, kind of like she was saying. And he was like, well, that's disappointing, because I wanted you to be the only one. Any real man don't want to be sleeping around with different people. So, and he asked her, how did that man how did he make you feel? Because she said, I wanted to feel somebody to hold me, to make me feel like I feel when I'm with you. He said, well, did he make you feel that way? How did he make you feel, But then he couldn't, she was like, no, he didn't make her feel that way. And she said, he wanted me to lick his butt. He wanted to lick my butt. He was like, oh, Danny, that's being too truthful. She said, look, he wanted the truth, that truth. That's what he wanted to do. I was rolling. Nasty. Especially you don't know him. Damn, it ain't like it's your husband or something. So he offered to stay, with her, but she said she was going out. So he said, I could cook for you. You want me to stay and cook? And she said, that would be nice. And they started hugging and stuff. And she's like, stop. Because he appreciated her being honest. She was saying everything honest out of her heart. And he was licking. He said he was hugging her. She's like, no, don't start. And she said, I've got to go out. And they go in the back. He started kissing her. He said, but I'm not going to lick your butt. She said, I never asked you to lick my butt. You better not lick my butt. Oh, but they started with her. He said, I like this honesty stuff. And she said, I do too. But I thought she always was honest. Like I said, at least with her girl, she is. She tell him everything, don't she? I mean, y'all let me know, but I thought she tells everything. So then they got Calvin calling Maurice, who's still at the bank. He's still there trying to get his paperwork and charts and flow charts working right, because he think that other guy is trying to steal his job, as he called him that bitch. That bitch trying to steal my job. But I don't think that guy even thinking about him and that job. So Calvin wanted to talk about, can he rent that room with him? And, Maurice is like, we got to talk first. We got to discuss it first. He said, well, what do you want to do? Want to do it over dinner? And he's like, I'm still at the bank. I'll be here a couple of hours. So he said he'll bring him some food. So he brought him the food, and he's knocking on the door, and he not even letting him in the bank. He not letting the man in the bank. And he finally let Calvin in the bank and he tell Calvin he got to take a drug test if he want to be his roommate. He's like, what? He said, you won't be stealing my air conditioner no more. He said, what are you talking about? There's still no air conditioner. He said, no, you going to take this drug test. He made him pee in a cup, a drug cup, whatever, in the middle of the bank. He's like, there's cameras and everything around. He said, they don't look at them cameras unless something go down and happen. And he's like bending down. He's like, I can't pee. I can't concentrate. You staring at me. And he's like, kept talking. He just kept talking. Maurice kept saying, you could tell by the drips and the streams, of the urine, how big a man is. He's like, oh my God. because he told, first of all, he told him to pull out his dick in the middle of the bank. And Calvin was like, oh, hell no, this ain't happening. This will never happen. It ain't going to happen. He said, no, come on, you taking a drug test. He said, a drug test? Are you for real? Maurice is crazy. He made that work, but prayerfully, this will never get back to Calvin, that it was all about Sabrina. And look at that. He said he never took drugs. He don't take drugs. He don't smoke. He don't do none of that because he got asthma and stuff. And see, this guy, the drunk bartender who said he saw him in the bathroom doing crystal meth, he probably seen the wrong person. That's why I say she got to stop listening to all these people. Damn, Sabrina, stop it. So Aaron shows up to Karen's house, and they were supposed to go food shopping, and Karen is dressed in her red dress looking all fly. And he said, you kind of dressed up to be going to go food shopping. And she said, well, I got to meet my girls afterwards. He said, well, we could do this later because now you rushing. She was like, no, well, I wanted to see you. I wanted to see you. That's why I didn't want to tell you. He said, oh, you wanted to see me? She said, yeah, I did. I wanted to see you, you know. So she goes, by the way, I want to know, do you know somebody named Rachel Hollister? And he was like, no. She's the first lady of a church or something? He's like, no. She said, why? You asked. She said, it was just strange that she came into my hair salon. He said, well, why is that strange? She says, because ain't no first lady ever come in there. I'm like, you will get a lot of different people in your salon. I don't know why that would be strange, that because she go to church, did she up in there? I'm like, the sisters at church be wanting their hair fly. Did she forget her customer told her about it? Her customer, Karen's customer, told the first lady where she get her hair done, and she came. There ain't nothing strange about that, Karen. It's word of mouth. You do a good damn job. That's what that is. Anyway, that makes no sense, that scene. Anyway, he said, well, maybe God's trying to tell you something. He said, I have been praying for you. She said, don't even start. Because Pam said that same mess, you know, don't even, you know. So he wanted to go. He said, well, I guess we could go tomorrow shopping. He said, because I really wanted to go back to where we first met. She said, oh, that's so sweet. And I said, oh, that's so sweet myself. I was like, oh, that's so sweet. Anyhow, what else? I think that was it for that episode. But she said, you know, I'll be back later tonight. And she said, it would be nice if you to see you when I get back home. He's like, ooh. He's like, okay, then go have fun. He said, go have fun and I'll be here. I'll go run home and get a bag or something. I'll get a bag and, you know, with some things, and I'll come back. And he's like, hey, do you need some money to hang out? She's like, what? He's like, do you need some money? She's like, no. But she was, I guess she was like taken aback. Like, okay, like that's something your man would do. Is he her man? Honey. So I said, oh, that was nice. So Zach shows up at Fatima's house, and she's like, what's with this strange energy you got? You got this strange energy going on, and he making all these funny faces and stuff. And he's like, why are you being so nice to me? He started asking, wanting to know why she's being nice to her and stuff like that. You know, why you even want me here? And she's trying to explain to him, letting him know that, you know, I'm just trying to build you up. You know, she said, what's going on with you? You got a question to ask me? She said, like, I'm an open book. You know, he's like, oh, how many dudes at the program you did this for and stuff? And she's like, what? Are you trying to say I'm a whore or something? She said, I haven't slept with any of those guys at the program. And he started with the, what about Hayden? And he's like, what? She's like, what about Hayden? She said, look, I slept with him one time and I didn't like it. She said, and that's it. She said, and I'm telling you because you asked and because I don't mind telling you, but it's none of your damn business. And she was right. It was none of his damn business. He had a lot of nerve. The man who sleeps and cheats on women is acting like, I don't get what it is. She's helping him. He gonna be in a shelter because he ain't got nowhere else to go. So she's letting him know how she's trying to build him up. She's an open book. Ask what you want to ask. She said, you better stop listening to those losers at your workplace over there. Stop listening to those losers. You're going to miss out on a good thing with that bullshit. And he's like, oh, now they freaking losers. Now they losers and stuff. She said, look, I ain't got time to be playing games. You know, if you were into playing games, I'm not the one. And she's right. He the one, and he does. Zach know he played games. And so she's like, let me tell you something. I got me, and I'm a grown ass woman, okay? He was like, well, you going out with a guy? She said, maybe if I want to, I can, you know? And he's like, well, then why should I stay? She said, then you know what? I'll leave it up to you. I'll leave it up to you, Zach. And you do what you want to do. I was like, why is Zach playing these games? It don't even make no sense. Anyway, that's going to be his loss because she's the one who bailed him out of jail. And he forgets that, how she hooked him up. That's $5,000. But y'all know men talk. They always talk about women talk, right? Y'all say women talk, but men talk a lot too because I've been in the barber shop with my sons. So I know. Ooh, excuse me. Nose itch. I know, believe me. Anyway, and it ended with Maurice leaving the bank and going out to the car. And I already felt it in my spirit, y'all. I felt something was going to happen to him being there late, Lord Jesus. And he leaves out the bank and he don't see the guy get out his car. And he goes, hey, remember me? I said, dang. And it went off. This is about to break my heart. But I know Maurice made a comment that he caught him in drag and stuff before with his heels on. But let him, you know, do it again. So hopefully Maurice got some moves and he can whoop some ass. That's it for me. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Put it down in the comment. Let me know. This is Barbie J saying peace.